Hi there everyone, thanks to my new subscribers. This is a new channel. I'm doing Sagittarius for November. If this reading resonates, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link. What's happening with Sagittarius in the month of November? What's happening with Sagittarius in the month of November? So I get the strong impression here that the Mercury retrograde will affect Sagittarius at the very beginning of November and in the middle of November. Actually, the first half altogether, because of course Mercury retrograde mucks everything up, and it's happening for all the signs in at different times in November. So in the first half of November, Sagittarius has to be wary, particularly at the beginning and particularly in the middle. I feel that there will be a lot of arguments, a lot of disagreements at work, at both work and in your personal life. If you're looking for work, I wouldn't do so in the first half of November. I'd hold off. If you're looking to get a promotion, I'd hold off until the second half of November when things pick up. It shows that you will have dreadful difficulties. You will also be spending a lot of money in the first half of November. And also some of you could have such terrible disagreements that you leave your job. So I feel that you have to lay low just to get through the first half of November if your workplace is otherwise quite agreeable to you. So you have to be really careful during this Mercury retrograde that things don't go downward, because they could, given the complications of the planetary alignment. So I feel that at the beginning of November you are going to be trying to move through those times with grace. There is some spiritual protection there, but I feel that it's not a good time to spend money, but I feel you're going to do so anyway. You're going to be out shopping, or you know, you might have to spend up on something big in the first half of November. But it also shows that you need to hold out until the second half of November, just so that energy transmutes into something workable. In the middle of, you've really got to be careful actually at the beginning of November. You're not subjected to any sneakiness, particularly around the workplace. And in the middle of November you have to be careful that the energy doesn't affect you so much that things go wrong and it makes you feel withdrawn or introverted by the middle of the month, because things can really go wrong unexpectedly as well. But it does show that things pick up. If you're looking for a new relationship, the first half of November again is a really bad time, and your personal relationships would be suffering as well in the first half of November. So I feel that you have to avoid the dating game. You have to expect that there could be arguments on the home front. You have to do everything in your power to ensure that your existence doesn't destabilize in the first half of November because of the energy, the harsh energy. It shows that in the second half of November, as I said, that things pick up, things move forward very quickly in your emotional life and in your career life. it shows that if you are looking for new work, you can find new work in the second half of November, and you will have success doing so. It also shows that you will be paying mind to your savings and your spending habits. And I feel that's just reflective of the first half of November when you spent a lot of money and you kind of zip it up. So it shows that if you are looking for a brand new relationship, you have to do so in the second half of November. It doesn't show anybody in particular. It just shows that if you're out there, you can really find a happy relationship, particularly a stable relationship, because I feel the next person you're going to meet is going to be something like an emperor, somebody quite successful, but it could be a third party situation, or it could be a third party situation from the past as well, so you have to be wary of that. Because I feel that whatever situation is in the works is a little bit complicated, even at work. But you are finding your way to the light. I feel in the second half of November, there's going to be a reconciliation with somebody as well, particularly in your working life. Maybe you go back to a former job, or you repair things in your current job. Because it seems to me you won't be, a lot of Sagittarius are either on holidays there's going to be real growth in the second half of November. Actually, I feel that once you get through this disappointing time in the first half, that you'll be able to move forward in a lot of different areas of your life. The person that's coming into your life could be a Leo, just putting it out there. Either a Leo or one of the fire signs. Sagittarius or Aries as well. But he or she seems to be very grounded. So it's like, I feel this character is larger than life. So they must have like a lot of fire and earth in their chart. But it was a third party situation in the past, so I'm not sure if they had a partner or had a partner who is present in their life. That's a great big possibility. There's also some work connection here to this person, so you also have to look around the workplace. It seems to me that once you get through this awkward stage in November, that everything's moving forward for Sagittarius quite pleasantly. Like, it seems to me by the end of November, Sagittarius will be very happy. And I feel that whatever third party situation is inherent in this scenario, it will be resolved by the very end of November, because you become the sole focus in this person's life, and they become the sole focus in your life, because it can go both ways, where you could have a partner from your past and they could have one from their past. So it shows up the third party situation very prominently, but it seems to be a past thing. I feel that you will stabilize a lot in the second half of November. This guy or girl that you're going to meet has dark hair, blue eyes, possibly blue eyes. Very successful, larger than life, very personable. So just look out for them. And they seem to be around your work area, the place where you work, or you're at work. So that indicates to me if you're a home worker, they'll be around, you'll see them around your home. If you work in an office, you'll see them around the office, or downstairs somewhere, or just after work when you're going home, something like that. There's a work association. So just keep that in mind, particularly in the second half of November if you're single. Because I feel after all these difficulties, you have something in mind to stay independent. But this person changes your perspective, because I feel that you're turning away from a really deceptive time in your emotional life, and so is he. And so you find a common ground, because you want things to be right for one another. You don't want there to be any deception. You don't want there to be any arguments. It shows that the arguments that you have in the first half of November could have something to do with your emotional life as well as your working life. I feel that you're a really well-meant person, and at the beginning of November you'll be wondering why you're suffering so many hardships when you do the best you can for others, and you live your life in quite an ethical fashion for the most part. But it's just the planetary alignment. You have to work through the harsh energy. That's why I'm saying, like, if you can lay low, lay low. It says that you won't be at work, and if you're at work you'll have difficulties, but only you would know how that applies to you, because it shows a lot of some trouble here. But it also shows that you'll be grounded where you are. So if you are traveling, I would also be cautious in the first half of November, because you could run across difficulties. Things could go wrong with flights. You could find yourself in a danger zone somewhere. You have to just be mindful. So this situation must really throw you. Like, I feel that in the middle of November you would have had it. You would be trying to work out why your life feels so unstable, given that you've worked so hard to apply your emotional goodness to somebody or something, or just in life in general. But my perspective on it is as just about time, and you've got to work your way through that time as best you possibly can, because it shows that if you hold out and you don't throw everything up in the air like you feel you'd like to in the first half of November, then things improve significantly. You will see your prosperity growing again, your abundance. You will see your abundance start to reformulate in the second half of November. I feel that this relationship, if you're single, this relationship that you're going to find in the second half of November is going to be very passionate and very happy. It doesn't show the love aspect. It's like you've gone through so much, you take a very practical perspective to whoever comes into your life. But also in the first half of November, you have to be wary of air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, who could cause you some difficulties at work. Because it shows in these particular cards that you will be having difficulties with women at work. So you'll either want to give everything up and swap jobs, and some of you will swap jobs. Some of you will have had it at the beginning of November. You'll decide to find a new job, and the new job you move into the second half of November is going to be something that has great potential for you in terms of growth and potential, potential success. Like, we're talking real success. Like flying as close as you possibly can to the sun success. So all of that energy will heal in the second half of November, because you either find a new job which is very happy and progressive, or you stay where you are and you defeat the challenges that you're dealing with. Because I feel that you gather momentum in the second half of November. So there's quite a strong energy burst then where you feel confident and you feel you can move forward. It also shows travel here in the second half of November. So you may well travel away for new work or for work. But it really shows a stabilization in your circumstances and a reconciliation with somebody from your past. It could be a man or a woman. I feel if you're a lady listening to this, it's a friend from your past. And I feel if you're a man listening to this, it's a friend from your past, but the friend is a female, whereas I feel that the man is a romantic interest. If a man returns, he's a romantic interest. He's somebody you know or know of, or you have some kind of connection to from your past. That's what it shows very clearly. It also shows the element here where you may choose to remain independent on the basis that your career and your work becomes more important to you after all the difficulties you had in the first half of November. So it's up to you, basically. It's always up to the person, whether they're a relationship person or whether they just want to get on independently. And that's what these cards are saying. It's saying the opportunities are there. But either way, you're going to find your ultimate happiness in this scenario. Because I feel that the first half of November could be very harsh. So you've just got to wait it out. It doesn't show that you're overly emotional, but you are up in your head a lot, dealing with a lot of stress. There's a groundedness to it, but it's like to the thought processes you have, which keeps you stable more or less to a great extent, but in your emotions, that is, but it's still destabilizing. So if you're not getting the communication you expect to get, or things are going wrong, or there are arguments, it's because of the Mercury retrograde in November. I feel that you gain this confidence because everything does go wrong in the first half of November. It's like you get so sick of everything that you throw your hands up and you just get away. Some Sagittarius will be getting away in the second half of November. If you can't move very far, it says that you'll be stable at home, but you will get out and about. I wouldn't be surprised if you live near the ocean that you go down to the beach, actually. And that may not sound unusual, but it's not something people who live near the beach do all the time. So you will be doing something different, which motivates you and makes you feel better about yourself after such a hard time. I feel also in the first half of November, you feel like you're losing your independence, and that's really very hard for you. So it might have something to do with the fact that you need to rely on somebody, and the person you have to rely on is argumentative. So that's where it's making you feel smaller. But once you get through that time, I really feel you will gain your confidence, because these cards revolve around finding your way to the light, and it says that you will achieve that. Okay, so that was Sagittarius for the month of November. If this reading resonated, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal reading, my details are in the description box below with a link. See you next time.